of any size fries and Dr. Pepper or other soft drink. 59-cent Big Mac sandwiches at McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
Definitely. Yes, Wendy's Kids Meals are just for kids. Now, without hurting my knee. And now it's time for Stop Play.
I shot him, so we walked 10 steps, and we'd say, ready, draw, and we'd turn around, and we'd shoot each other with these metal BBs from a BB gun. And it hit him in the leg, and it got stuck in his shin. And we had to pop it out, and he was bleeding. And I was like, you gonna tell your parents? He's like, no. I was like, I'm sorry. That is so 90s, early 2000s, because who buys their kids BB guns nowadays? There was no airsoft guns. This was straight BBs. Instead of having videos on this device, my second birthday was on this device. Cutting edge technology, huh? This here is a VHS tape, kids. And this contains my second birthday, 1991. It's Grandpa Demise Media here. Getting old. Getting old, everybody. So old, in fact, that I'm drinking a tea with honey. Ah, so good. I have a nice little topic for you guys today. I'm thinking of calling this video Why the 1990s and early 2000s was awesome. I gotta represent the time I'm from, the 90s. Colorful, exciting. If you see here, there's a bunch of stuff from the 90s. I had to repurchase these. I got rid of all my toys. I think I gave them away. We got Ninja Turtles here. We got Batman Returns here. And we have Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. These movies are so freaking... I'm not going to say the word because it's being used way too much, but it starts with an N. Okay, you know what that word is. But every time I put these movies on, it takes me right back to being 3, 4, 5, 6 years old again. Yeah, so basically I really wanted to get into this and tell you guys that this is where I'm from. I'm from the 1990s. I was born in '89, so I'm super old. I'm a dinosaur. And one time it was around Christmas of last year, 2023, and I walked into a Vans store at the mall. I wanted to try on some old school Vans, and I'm walking around looking, just me by myself, and then the young lady there was like, hey, can I help you? I was like, oh yeah, I'm looking for these Vans, try them on, whatever. And I don't know how it came up, but she was in her probably early 20s, and I'm over here in my mid 30s, and the 90s came up. I don't know how it came up, and she's like, oh, this is her talking. Tell me why me and my co-workers all talk about how we wish we grew up in the 90s. I think I mentioned how the 90s is coming back, the styles, and how it's, you know, making a major comeback with the kids these days. And she said, yeah, tell me why me and my friends wish we grew up in the 90s, because how cool it seemed and how happy it was for the Western culture here in America, at least. I can't speak for other countries. And I was like, you know, let me tell you how it was. And me and her just started chopping it up about how I grew up. And I was like, I would not walk into the store with a cell phone in my hand in the 90s and just be like a freaking zombie. When you go somewhere in the 90s, you'd have to go in there, look at someone in the face, if you had a question, say hi, whatever. There was nothing to distract us, really. There was nothing to distract us, and that is one of the biggest things. And she was just like, man, I wish. She's like, my mom still has the landline phone with the cord on it. And I was like, yeah, that's all we had. Or if you were fancy, you had the one that was cordless, but you had to charge it. So that came up, and she's like, yeah, me and my friends like the 90s style. We wish we grew up in the 90s, and we like how there wasn't so much social media. And it was a good conversation, and I ended up, she was getting the shoes. I pulled up some video clips of me from the 1990s, and I showed her. I was like, look, I'm telling you, this is me in 1997 with my cousin. From my phone, I recorded videos from VHS tapes, and she was like, whoa, that's crazy. It was a good conversation to have with someone that's younger. I see a lot of youngsters in high school and stuff, and me and my girlfriend will be like, holy crap, look at that person with the baggy pants over the shoes, oversized hoodie. I'm like, that's like that 90s style coming back. Another thing I wanted to point out was stuff like this. Now, I have over, let's see, 24,000 pictures and videos on this damn thing right here, this little device. But back then in the 90s, this is how we kept pictures. And what would be cool about this is you could spend 5 minutes going over one picture because you appreciate it more, and you look and you're just like, wow, looking at the carpet and like, oh, I remember making that stain on the carpet, or oh, that table, whatever happened to that table. It's me getting Super Nintendo games from my cousins, some hand-me-downs. There was no distractions. If you wanted to look at pictures, you would look at photos from a photo album or from a shoebox, and you'd spend hours. I would spend hours going through them one by one. Like, wow, look at that, man. Like, all this shit that's in here is gone. The house is sold, whatever. Stuff like this. Just all day. That's how it was. So instead of a phone with 24,000 pictures and videos, we had this for pictures. Now, let me tell you about video. Instead of having videos on this device, my second birthday was on this device. Cutting edge technology, huh? This here is a VHS tape, kids. And this contains my second birthday, Derek's 2-year birthday, April 20th, 1991. So this video I've had forever, and my grandmother recorded my second birthday in 1991 on this. So if I ever want to cry, shove this in the VCR and I watch this video. It's crazy. This is less than an hour. It's probably an hour and a half, I'd say. Less than 2 hours on this big ass, compared to this, which probably has over 24 hours of footage on it. Crazy, crazy. Another reason why I miss the 90s and the early 2000s, and why I believe it was so great and why it was so awesome, was the fact that no social media. There was no cell phones. If people did have the cell phones, they were usually rich people that had them, and they were like gigantic. The internet was not prevalent at all. If you did have internet in the house, which came about when I was like, I'd say 11 or 12, when my grandmother finally got internet, and it would take forever to log in. I forgot what service we had. It just was so slow that we wouldn't even want to be inside. We'd want to be outside because it was so boring. It's like, what are we going to do? You want to go on the internet and check out newgrounds.com? All right. After 15 minutes of waiting, we'd get so bored that we'd be like, let's go outside. Screw it. The computers are so slow. Being outside was the norm. Being outside with friends. Skateboarding. Freedom was an actual thing. Like, nowadays, kids do not go outside as much. Before, that's all we knew. 70s, 80s, 90s kids, that's all we knew. get out of the house, go play, come back later. Either we'll call your friend's parents, or what my mom would do is we'd be playing in this area not too far from my grandma's house where we grew up, and she would whistle. And I'd be like, oh, gotta go, boys. Mom's whistling. That was what it was like. Tag, hide and seek, skateboarding, breaking stuff, burning stuff, causing bodily harm. I got a story right here. This is total peak 1990s, early 2000s. Me and one of my best friends at the time, we had BB guns. And these BB guns are pump action. So you can pump it 9-10 times. And if you pump it 9 to 10 times, that BB is going to go through glass. It's going to break glass. So one pump is soft. 2 pumps, gradually up to 10 pumps is being the hardest. That'll freaking go through your skin. So what me and my friend would do is we both had these BB guns. They were sold at Walmart. And we would draw. So we'd walk 10 paces and we'd pump the gun like twice. Only twice. And then we'd go, ready, go. And we'd turn around and we'd shoot each other with these BB guns, waist down. And he was wearing shorts, I think, and I shot him. So we'd walk 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, to 10 steps. And we'd say, ready, draw. And we'd turn around and we'd shoot each other with these metal BBs from a BB gun. And it hit him in the leg and it got stuck in his shin. And we had to pop it out and he was bleeding. And I was like, you gonna tell your parents? He's like, no. I was like, I'm sorry. That is so 90s, early 2000s, because who buys their kids BB guns nowadays? There was no airsoft guns. This was straight BBs. No supervision. Mom's probably at work. His parents were at work. That's just how it was, the Wild West, no pun intended. We were straight up just out there. We got into like altercations with other kids. There was no supervision. I'm surprised I didn't get murdered or kidnapped most of these times, you know. Maybe it was different. Maybe there wasn't as much craziness going on, but some days I'm like, damn, I was out all the time, and who knows, maybe there was a creep that was creeping around, you know. Totally different times. So if we wanted to watch a show, say Dragon Ball Z or whatever was hot at the time, we'd have to rush home and set the time. So say Dragon Ball was at 5:00 p.m. Everybody at school, at my middle school, would be like, oh man, did you hear about what's going to happen in the next Dragon Ball Z episode? And someone would be like, so-and-so knows, they read it in a magazine or whatever, and we'd all get hyped. We'd be like, oh, tonight, we're going to watch it tonight. And we'd be like, whose house are we going to watch it at? Let's go watch it at Bobby's house or whoever. And we'd all get together. We'd go to Bobby's house on Wednesday at 5 p.m. sharp. That's when Dragon Ball Z would play on the TV. So you had to be there or you were square. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was the talk of the freaking school. Like, oh dude, Goku's finally gonna kill Frieza today. Where are we going? We're gonna go to Josh's house. Go to Josh's. Sit there. The commercials were sick. All dope, man. It was cool. It was like a lot of colors, a lot of music, a lot of creativity. The 90s was so creative. And we'd sit there and music would start. It was like a little movie every single time we'd watch Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon, which I wasn't into. It was so hype. There was such a hype, and there was an anticipation and it was a cultural phenomenon. All the kids would come together and we'd talk about it for weeks. We don't have that anymore. Now, a lot of kids, I noticed, like my son or even my brother, Everyone's just on their phone, and they have their own individual likes and their own individual little things. When I was in middle school, or even high school, or whatever, we didn't have this. So it was this. You know, like, oh dude, this movie's coming out, you gonna watch it? Oh dude, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch that movie. Ask everyone else, and like 8 out of 10 people would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that movie. Week goes by, those same people all start talking about that movie or that show. Nowadays, everyone's just into totally different stuff, and there's so many things out there. There's Netflix, there's Tubi, there's freaking HBO Max, all this shit. Stuff's everywhere. All at once, like that movie. I never seen it, but you know, it's just nuts how psychotic everything is now. Oh my god, I can't believe I was rambling on for like 16 minutes. That was insane. Let's wrap this up. I know y'all have short attention spans. I'll never forget as well, like, whenever I tell my son to go and ask somebody for something at, say, McDonald's, right? He won't ask. He's so scared to ask. And my girlfriend does mobile orders from her phone, and then you walk in, and you don't have to talk to anybody. It's just ready. Do it from your phone. You walk in, you see it there, the name's there, you pick it up. No human interaction, really. And sometimes if my son wants ketchup, I'll be like, go ask for ketchup. You have to, because they don't have it out, right? And he won't. And I'll be like, dude. And he'll like be petrified, and I get a little irritated. Because when I was a kid, there was this McDonald's we always went to, and it was like, it must have been 1995. Like I was probably 5 or 6. And I'll never forget, my mom was like, we're sitting down, I wanted some ketchup, and they didn't have ketchup out. And my mom's like, go ask. And I was like, no, I don't want to ask, I'm scared. And she's like, then you're not going to get ketchup for your fries. And I was like, okay, I'll go ask. Walked over there, time slowed down, I looked at her. She must have been a high schooler or something, you know, and I was like, can I have some ketchup? And she was just like, yeah, here you go. There you go. And I was like, thanks. Walked away. That probably helped me forever. Like, those little milestones, it seems very, very small, but those little human interaction thingies go a long way later on. That's probably why I'm able to make these videos and communicate with people like the girl at the van store. I was sitting there, I was talking to her, I did not pull my phone out at first, I was just talking. It was refreshing for her. She was like, dang, people her age right now are very antisocial and just anti-social media. Just kidding. Very antisocial. A lot of people are just, they don't have that human interaction as much anymore. It's sad. I really don't like it because a lot of people just are cooped up in their bedrooms or head down in the phone. Like I'll be driving and there'll be someone crossing the street, a major street, and they'll just be like this. I'm like, dude, pay attention, you moron. Someone's gonna run you over. They might run a red light and run you over. So it's just crazy. It's crazy. I love the generation I came from, the 1990s, early 2000s, before the internet really, really took over. Before the ads, before the algorithms, before all that crap. We had commercials, yes, we had other stuff, whatever, but it wasn't as in your face. We spent more time outdoors. We spent more time with friends. We spent more time with family. There was nothing to distract us except for ourselves. If you wanted to go out there and hang out with your friends, you go knock on their door and you ask their parents, hey, can Nick come outside? Oh, Nick will be done with his homework in 10 minutes. You want to come in? Yeah, I'll come in. Go there, what do you want? They'd give you a snack or something like that, and you talked with them. When Nick was ready to play, Oh, Nick was ready to play. Comes down from his homework. You guys go outside, and the parents are like, okay, come back for dinner. You know? Crazy. I can barely get my son to go hang out with his friends. You know? They're all busy doing who knows what. You know? I think a lot of people are scared. All the news and shit that has happened lately. They don't want their kids to go out. But back then, we didn't have a choice. There was no option. So, the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, were badass. It was amazing. I'm happy to be from that time. And I wish I had a time machine. And I can go back and I'd take you with me. Just so we can see, you know. Was it rose-tinted glasses? Or was it truly the last great generation? 1990s and the early 2000s. Before social media, before the internet really took over, before everyone had a damn opinion, before Twitter, before all that shit. Demise Media.